Welcome to week 12 and yet another way to solve a quadratic equation. It's called the quadratic formula. And this is used when you can't factor it, like using the box and to utilize the zero property, or it's not something you can easily complete the square. So the quadratic formula is actually negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And there's actually like a little song, like from Pop Goes the Weasel, and you can go x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But I'm not a great singer, but that's how it goes. I've heard of it. And these letters, b, a, b, and c, are all filled in from the equation. So the equation I've referred to before is like a squared x plus bx plus c. Remember b being in the middle. And so the first thing you have to do when you have a quadratic equation is let's figure out what is the a value, what is the b value, and what is the c value. A is the number that goes with the first term. What number or constant is in front of that x squared? It's a 1. What's my middle term? A negative 3. And what's my last term? A negative 7. And I use those to solve the equation. So we're going to go down here to the bottom, and notice there are, you set this up with 2 zeros, or 2 equations. You have where b is plus what's under the radical sign, or when it's subtracted underneath the radical sign. So let me write here, a is 1, b is negative 3, c is negative 7, and let's fill in the quadratic equation. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So now I'm going to write this with the letters. Negative whatever b is. B is a negative 3, so I'm going to write negative 3, and even though there's a negative in front, because that negative is not the same as the negative that goes with the b. Plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared plus or minus 4 times a is 1. And c is negative 7. Oh, this is just a minus. I wrote plus or minus. All over 2 times 1. Okay, so now we're going to just simplify step by step. 2 negatives make a positive 3 plus or minus the square root of, this is 9 minus, remember I made a little error here, it said minus here. 4 times 1 is 4 times 7 is 28. Here's a negative and a negative. A negative and negative end up making that a positive 28 all over 2. Let's simplify that to 3 plus or minus the square root of 28 plus 9 is 37 divided by 2. Okay, so we're going to have 3 plus the square root of 37 divided by 2, and 3 minus the square root of 37 divided by 2. Okay, these are the 2 answers. If you want to know what the number is, you can go to Desmos, where I can go here. Oh, is my calculator going to work? What is the square root of 37? See, the square root of 30, oh, that's 34. The square root of 37 is 6.08. So really what we're doing is we're saying 3 plus 6.08 divided by 2, which is 9.08 divided by 2, which is 4.54. Okay, and then we want 3 minus 6.08 divided by 2. That one I might need a little help. 3 minus 6.08 is 3.08 divided by 2, negative 1.54. Negative 1.54. So these are our 2 answers. If you can get it to this form, or actually if you can get it to this form right here, that is a great accomplishment for us. Okay. Let's look at the next page. An entire page of just practicing the quadratic formula. That's so exciting. So let's go through the steps. I'll do a couple problems and I'll leave this for practice for you, and I'll put the answers up to see if you're getting them. The first thing I always do is list what my A, what my B, and what my C is. Because if I can figure out what A, B, and C is, it's no problem plugging them into the equation. So A is the first number, B is the middle number, and C is the last number. So now let's plug it in. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A, which is 3, times C, which is 2, all divided by 2 times A. Right? Let's simplify. Negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 24, all over 6. When we simplify that, we get negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 25 all over 6. Now this is a much nicer problem than that first example, because we can figure out the square root of 25. So it's negative 7 plus or minus square root of 25 is 5 divided by 6. So we have negative 7 plus 5 divided by 6, negative 7 minus 5 divided by 6. That's negative 2 divided by 6, negative 2 6 equals negative 1/3. That's one of my answers. Negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12 divided by 6, which is 2, and that's the other answer. All right? Again, we're going to go A equals, B equals, C equals. This is a 2. B is negative 9. C is negative 35. All right? And then you just plug it into that equation. Let's look at, oh, you probably can't see what I wrote. Okay. Let's look at part C. A equals 8, B equals 10, C equals 3. Part D, A equals 1, B equals negative 5, the middle number, and C equals 9. So on this page, what I've done for you is I have given you what A, B, and C are for these 3 problems, and you plug them in here and you see what you get the correct answer as. I will have a document that lists the correct answer so you can check. And then in part 2, you're going to come up with your own A, B, and C. I will give you a hint here. A equals 2, B equals, on this problem, negative 10, and C equals, there is no third number, so it's a 0. All right, I'm probably helping you more than other classes. It doesn't matter that 0 is listed first, you still go in order, A, B, C. All right, finish up page 15 on your own. Have a great evening.